Okay, so we're back for another week, and I'm excited to hear this incredible story you're about to share.
Thank you so much, Vic. So we were talking about bitachon, and sometimes we fall.
Yeah.
And that's the point where the Yetzer Hara really seeks to get us. It's a slippery slope, and literally that's where everything can go down, or you could seek Hashem's help and go and you unite with him in that moment of constriction. I think that's the most powerful thing to do, but it can be so hard when you're in such a constricted mindset to be able to tap into Hashem and tap into love when you aren't feeling that. But
Sure.
you are, but what happens is that when when you fall, you start, and Rabbi Nachman speaks about this or about this idea, you start bringing din upon yourself, judgment. You start talking yourself down. You start feeling like, oh, I'm a bad person. Oh, this, oh, that. 1,000 thoughts come rushing in, and then you bring that judgment upon yourself because if you aren't being kind to yourself, then Hashem can't be kind. Well, Hashem can be above and beyond and can do anything, but we create our own realities. And so if we aren't being kind to ourselves, it's less likely that Hashem will be kind to you in a revealed way. Hashem's always kind.
Right.
So here's a story. About a year back, I came back for Mother's Day from Israel. Spent a year in Israel. It's incredible. I was learning and integrating, and you kind of don't know what level you are at until you fall,
Mm.
or until you have a test where you fall just a little bit, but the mistake is completely falling. So here is the story. I was going to go and see this friend in Tel Aviv. I was in Jerusalem, and oh no, it's actually a longer story. One second, let me backtrack.
Okay.
So I'm leaving Israel in 2 weeks, and I'm doing like a bunch of different things, seeing people, tying up as many ends as I can. But obviously, I still keep these relationships and everything, but it's just a very meaningful time. And I was up in Spot, and I decided that I had been eyeing this necklace all year long of the 10 sefirot. I'm like, okay, yalla, I'm going to buy it right now. I really want this necklace, and I'm getting that. Then I also had a good friend in the shops that was sold things, and I found these beautiful earrings. And I said, I really want those earrings. So I went and I got those. And when I bought both, I said, Lichvot Shabbat Kodesh.
Mm.
Then I'm preparing for this trip to Tel Aviv. And I pick out this beautiful blue dress that really reminds me of the spot that's really spiritual. And I really want to put this 10 sefirot necklace like so badly. It's like, wow, it would look so cute. It's perfect because I've got like a shell, and the top of the dress is in V, and the 10 sefirot fall just right there.
Classic.
It's so
Classic.
cute.
I can see it.
I'm so into the outfit. Like, yes, let's do it. But I said Lichvot Shabbat Kodesh, and it was so hard. In that second, I was like, okay, Yalla Hashem, I'm keeping my word. I'm saving it for Shabbat.
Mm.
So I go out with my cute outfit, whatever. I go out to see this friend, and she tells me that there's this amazing place with these cookies that like aren't like non-kosher cookies, like they're completely fine. But I didn't know if they had hechsher, but I imagine they probably did. And so we go out of our way to go into this restaurant, and I was looking everywhere that I could to see if there was like a teudat with the kashrut information or hechsher somewhere, and I'm not seeing, and we walked all this way, and then I was also becoming like more observant, and I was like, whoa, she, like, I don't want to disappoint her, that I won't eat this, and we came out all this way. And something that's really interesting, which I think applies to this moment, is that when you do something that's unaligned, that's like a spurt of insanity that comes into you. And so that's not even you acting in that second. Like, yes, you definitely did do that thing, but it's not like your highest self acting. And so I went, okay, I'm not having this bracha, which made it even probably worse. But I was like, no, it's kosher, it's kosher. Somehow it's kosher. That was that spirit of insanity entering me. So I went, I go, I eat it, and then like it was a whole long day. I went to pick up stuff, and I'm going to go and catch one of the last trains back to Jerusalem. I'm carrying like a ton of things, and I get to the station, and the station on the side that I was on was closed. I was like banging on the doors. I was like, what's going on? Like, it's closed. Like, I'm gonna miss this train. And I didn't want to be out like in the dark, like late at night alone. I didn't feel so safe, especially carrying things. But then we found out that there's another entrance. So my friend, she was so nice. She went and she took me there. And I was like, okay, I'm going to run to see if for some reason I'm able to make it into this train. I wasn't able to, but I made it onto the next train. And I had a lot of time to think while I was waiting for that train. And I started going down a spiral while I was waiting for that train and on the ride back to Yerushalayim as well. It's like, wow, I ate something that did have a hechsher. That really bothers me. It really bothers me. What happened? How did I even do that? And I wasn't happy about it. So, okay, I think I'm going to go and I'm going to pray at the kotel. I get home, I go and speak with a friend because it was pretty late at night. It was probably around 1, I think. Yeah, around 1 a.m. And I'm speaking to a friend, and she's like, no, it's quite late. You should probably go to bed, this or that. I'm like, okay, yes, you're right. I won't go to the kotel. Thank God I live very nearby, like a half-hour walk. And I start like organizing things in my room. I'm like, no, I'm going to the kotel. So I arrange like a little backpack with my siddur and everything, a coat, and I head out. And there's this rabbi at the kotel. Oh, I forgot one part of the story. In Tel Aviv, towards the beginning of the trip, previous to seeing my friends, I go into this European store,
Okay.
and I find the cutest long skirt. And when I was in Israel, I was honestly wearing like a little bit like hippie-ish clothing. I still do like a boho style,
Nice.
but it was like very hippie and cool for the area and for the place I was in. And I go and I buy this gorgeous skirt, and I say, okay, it's Lichbot Shabbat Kodesh. And so that also happened in Tel Aviv. Okay, going back to being in Yerushalayim and walking towards the Kotel. I'm walking there, and there's this rabbi that does Tikkun Chatzot. Have you
What's
heard
that?
of Tikkun Chatzot?
No.
It's this prayer that Rabbi Nachman put together from a bunch of Tehillim, and a lot of men do it for Tikkun Habrit, for the rectifying of the Brit, and apparently it's very powerful. But part part of the prayer starts with slichot, which is said during Yom Kippur. and during like the 40 days of Slichot for the Sephardim. So this rabbi, he's Rabbi Yaakov Ades. I don't know if you've heard of him. He does the Slichot at the Kotel, and he goes there, I think, every night for Tikkun Chatzot. And he's just beyond. I feel very attached to him. Like he's definitely a tzaddik, a super righteous person. And I really wanted to see him and pray with him since I really connected with him. And I'm walking over to the Kotel and I started saying, oh my gosh, I did was so unaligned. I really want to pray with this rabbi. I really, really do. I want to pray with him so badly. But what I did was so unaligned. And I'm just spiraling down and down and down. Like I don't think he'll be there. I don't think he'll be there. I was essentially at that moment doubting Hashem's ultimate love for me and punishing my own self. That was so unaligned. I think that's one of the biggest chets that I did in the whole year. It was a moment of really like not being in myself. Eating the cookie was not what was like so wrong. What was so wrong was my reaction to eating that cookie, where I downward spiraled into the point where I was like, I'm in a pit and I can't get out of this pit.
Mm.
And Hashem's not going to get me out of this pit.
Mm.
That was a low moment.
Yeah.
And as I'm nearing the Kotel, I'm not hearing anything. And Rabbi Yaakov Ades, whom I really wanted to pray with, he's known as the screaming Kotel rabbi. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not hearing him. Okay, like I guess this happened. Like this wasn't meant to be the time, and I was unaligned at this moment. So I walk in and I get closer, and I hear him. Oh my goodness, he's here. And he was just starting like his Arvit service, his night service. And this was the first time that I was able to join him for a full service on a regular day. So I'm with him, I'm trying to follow along, I'm trying to pray. And then, which was so special, I was like, wow, Hashem really does love me. And then we get to the Tikkun Chatzot, which I thought that it was like an extension of Slichot at the moment because there's like a slichot aspect. So I join him. And something that really stands out about him is that he cries from the depths of his heart because he feels for all of Am Yisrael, or at least I feel that he feels for all of Am Yisrael, because when he's saying like everything that we're doing when we're unaligned, he really means it. And his tears for me are the tears of the Shekhinah as well. And in
Whoa.
that moment, I felt that. And in that moment, I felt, oh my goodness. I was so unaligned. And the biggest chet was bringing myself down. When I had fallen just a little bit, bringing myself all the way down. What Hashem did by making me eat that cookie, which I also chose, but I think it was like a spurt of insanity that entered me. What Hashem did was he told me, wow, Eva, you're not at this level. So I started crying and I started thanking Hashem. Thank you so much for making me make this mistake. I realized what level I'm on, and now I'm strong for when I return home. I will know what to do, and I will come prepared, and I will know how to be aligned, and most of all, I will know how to be kind to myself. In that moment, I learned Hashem has pure love and compassion, and I shouldn't doubt it for a moment that he doesn't have pure love and compassion. So I'm there, I'm praying, and I'm praying from my heart, and I'm crying out to Hashem. And I was something amazing about Rabbi Yaakov Ades is that he first of all, he's kind of screams, so you could hear him, but second, scream cries. Second of all, he stood really close to the woman's side, so you could hear him so well. And men could be closer to the Kodesh HaKodeshim, be further in, but no, he chose to be, and he chooses to be right there, which I think is huge. So I'm there. And when I got there, there was almost no one at the kotel. So I got the closest spot to the guy's side. And one woman lined up right next to me to pray, and there were some people behind me that came a little bit afterwards. And I'm there, I'm crying, I'm thanking Hashem. I'm praying, mamash, like literally for everything. I'm praying for the Geulah. I'm in full connection, full prayer, and like deep, intimate connection with Hashem. This fall brought me to ultimate connection with Hashem, which is something that's insane. And to be able to see Hashem's pure love and goodness and divine guidance and assistance, and show me that I can have compassion for my own self. But what happened was that in the middle of all of this tears, prayer, I noticed a woman coming up right next to the woman that was besides me. And I'm praying and I'm concentrating. I'm having a one-on-one with Hashem. So I'm not interrupting that. But I noticed that maybe she like put something in her pocket. Like it was kind of a weird interaction. But I'm like, okay, like whatever. I'm praying for the Geulah right now. I'm praying for all of these things with my full heart. And I'm really meaning everything which I'm saying. So I keep on praying and thanking Hashem for everything in my life. And then this woman comes up to me. And she put something in my pocket, my coat pocket. I'm like, what? So I reach into my pocket.
Tell me it's a cookie.
It's not a cookie. I pull out and I feel that like it's money. She put some shekels into my pocket. And I'm like, no, I can't take it. So I'm like, take it. But like I'm there and I'm like crying to Hashem. I'm like, take it, please take it. But then like I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and lose connection because I'm really like in the prayer. So she doesn't end up taking it. I leave my hand reached out and I continue praying and she doesn't take it. So okay, I put it back into my pocket. And I continue praying. And I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. And I continue praying. I'm like, I don't know why this happened, but I continue praying. I'm done with the prayer. Even though I could have stayed forever, I was like, it's kind of late. I should walk back home and sleep. And I'm walking back, and as soon as I exit the Kotel Plaza and I'm a few steps up, like, okay, I need to check like how much is it, or like if there was a note, or if there's like some kind of thing. And I check, and the amount of shekels that this lady gave me was the amount of shekels that I had bought Lichbot Shabbat Kodesh. And it said that the money that you buy Lichbot Shabbat Kodesh is money that's like not calculated into the money which you're supposed to earn that year. And so that's like additional love and additional money that Hashem is giving you.
Whoa.
And what ended up happening was that I started like calculating everything, and I had gotten like some discount on the earrings and on the necklace and different things, and the skirt was also on discount, and everything was on discount. But it was the same amount, and I said, "Whoa!" Once I decided, or once Hashem, sorry. Once I realized that Hashem is truly divinely guiding me with pure love, with pure chesed, with pure rachamim, and I went and I thanked Hashem for everything in my life, for the ups, but also for the downs, and truly thanked him with my whole heart. That's when Hashem was like, okay, here you go. This is your gift, Lichbot Shabbat Kodesh. Everything aligned.
Wow.
And I wore the skirt and the necklace that Shabbat, a very special Shabbat, which lofty lights were downloaded. I don't even know what was said. It was a very special Shabbat with a very special rabbi who translated stuff from the Yanuka. I don't know if you've heard of the Yanuka.
No.
He's like a huge Chacham and Tzaddik, who like knows all of Torah backwards and forwards.
Wow.
So he like translated something by him, and he was just like giving more and more information and more light. Because Hashem is pure love. Hashem is pure chesed. Hashem is pure rachamim. Even when you don't see it, he is that. Even when you're so blinded and when you're like, no, I'm lowly at this moment. No, you're not lowly. You are right now attached to Hashem. So you need to pull yourself out of there and thank Hashem for that challenge. Thank Hashem for all that guidance. And it's hard in the moment. It's so hard in the moment. I think it can be easier the further time passes to see how everything truly is for our own good. And sometimes we aren't even able to see it in this life.
I so appreciate you for sharing that. The Baal Teshuva journey is so unique, really. Like the level of judgment a Baal Teshuva has on herself is like the level of judgment that our matriarchs had on themselves. You know, like you're literally beating yourself up over a cookie, Eva. You know that, right? Like that was you got the point like by the end where you were just like the mistake wasn't the cookie, it was the reaction to the
100%.
cookie. And like this is like base common ground that all Baal Teshuvas go through of like I'm trying so hard to practice what I'm learning and like to be aligned 24/7 that like I don't like it's just so extreme. It's like I'm either aligned or I'm not. You know, and it's like how would we approach this with our kids? You know, what would you tell your daughter if she did that? You know, how would you teach her to react? This is what we're learning. We don't have necessarily parents to teach us how to react to these situations because we are the Baal Teshuvas, right? So we have to parent ourselves through this and like ask Hashem to help us like figure it out. But it could feel like a really lonely journey that we're all going through at the same time. And I feel you, girl. I really do. And like, I've also gone through these like extreme waves of like self-hate, self-disappointment, self-punishment before like I'm now coasting in this middle. I still wave, but now I feel like I coast more in the middle of like asking myself, how would I speak to my friend about this? How would I speak to my daughter about this? What does she need to hear? And why am I speaking to myself differently?
Hashem wouldn't even speak to us in that way.
Never. Never.
Never. I was expecting, like, the biggest thing was that I was expecting Hashem to speak to me in this way. Hashem
Yeah.
was like, no, like, what in the world are you doing? This is the moment of least alignment right now. And I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you all the love. I'm giving you all the compassion. And you have to go and notice that. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah. No, it's
huge.
It's huge. It's huge. And it's really, really important to change our relationship with Hashem from being like a punisher and like, judge, jury, executioner of like our smallest deeds. Because, like eating only at a place that has a tuda, like that is a really high level to be holding at, whether you believe that or not. Like from this perspective of a Baal Teshuva, right? Like to care that deeply that you're gonna go down this like guilt trip. Actually, I'm gonna rephrase that. It's not a guilt trip, it's a shame trip. Because a guilt trip, you'll feel guilty and you'll be like, you know what? I don't love that I did that and I don't want to do that, right? But a shame trip is like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't deserve any kindness. Like, I'm so ashamed. I don't even want to be seen. Like, I'm so fake. I'm so this. And it's just judgment on top of judgment on top of judgment. And when we talk about compassion and love, you can't have shame. So if God is all compassionate and all loving, there's no shame to be felt.
And shame is not even a Jewish concept.
It's not.
And this whole guilt trip, that's not even a Jewish concept. So I was like, whoa.
I
And
think
so in a
getting
sense,
that.
whenever we're feeling that, that's somewhat like in Avodah Sarah as well. You're saying like you're bringing yourself down, so then you're bringing Hashem's image down as well, because you aren't being kind and uplifting, and that's not like we aren't meant to in any way like with words or with anything harm ourselves. Like for instance, we were learning about last parsha in the synagogue about how we're not supposed to like cut our skin, for instance, which used to be a practice when in many cultures when someone would pass away, they would cut their skin as a side as a sign of that. But I don't remember who it was. Sure if it was the Vilna Gaon. No, oh, the Maharal was explaining that he doesn't understand, I think, why Chazal or why some Jewish sages say that cutting a skin is the same thing as a sinat hinam, which
Mm.
is baseless hatred amongst ourselves. But he was explaining that we are one cosmic body. And so if you treat someone or yourself or whoever else in a way that's not kind, in a way that's not loving and that's not truly helping that person, then you're cutting that person off. If that baseless hatred comes, you're cutting that person off. And there's like a split in the skin, there's a split in the cosmic body. And essentially, I think when we're being so hard on ourselves, we're doing that to us. And we are saying, like, no, I'm here and Hashem is separate. And you're talking yourself down so much that you're digging yourself into a hole that's so hard to come out of. And that's not like the Jewish way of Teshuva is saying, okay, I did something wrong. I did something that was unaligned. But next time I'm going to try better. And if anything, this mistake showed me at what level I'm truly at. And okay, I'll try my hardest and I'll ask you, Hashem, to help me not ever repeat this again. But wow, this was truly a gift. This mistake was a gift.
Yeah,
And
that's real.
it's getting and realizing to that level of having full self-compassion. And And this moment was so crazy because I always kind of looked down upon people that were like, oh my gosh, like Hashem is punishing, Hashem is this, Hashem is that, and viewing Hashem in that negative lens. It's like, wow, that's so messed up. I don't want that relationship with Hashem ever.
Yeah.
And I dipped into that. And that's such a powerful lesson because it's such a fine line that we could cross. But it's such an important line, and we need to be constantly aware of it. And we need to be constantly aware of who Hashem is.
You're so right. And this is actually what we're studying is like when you lack trust in God, it's because you don't know God. It's because you don't know that like everything you have is God. Everything. And real tshuva, like according to Chassidut, isn't just the 4 levels of like, I admit like I messed up and I don't want to do it again and I vow not to do it again and then actually not doing it again. The higher level of tshuva is looking back at your life, at all of the hardships you've been through, at all of the mistakes you've made, and saying, thank you, Hashem, for those challenges. Thank you for those mistakes I got to make to become who I am. I love those mistakes. I love those challenges. And to look back at them with joy.
And feel tears in your eyes as well. Like
Insanity.
truly, fully feel it.
Like it's really it's hard, right? Because it's a lifetime's work, especially like certain level of tshuva, like certain hardships that you go through in life. It's really hard to find joy in them. You know, like I don't know that we're gonna find any joy in this war right now or in the near future. You know, like I don't know that we're gonna look back at it with joy. That's really hard to wrap your mind around. And like I don't even want to go there because it's just so far removed. And that's not the expectation right now. I think it's like on a smaller scale of like, where do I hold compassion for myself and say, like, you know what? Everything is working out for my highest good. Everything I need to know is revealed to me. Everything I need comes to me. All is well in my world. Hashem's got me. I am strong. And it's a practice. You know, like we say, like gratitude's the best attitude. It's not an attitude, it's a practice. You have to practice it in order to have it. You can't just like, right? You said on your birthday, like everything turned around the second you started giving blessings to people, right? Like, it's not that like all of a sudden you were like, okay, I'm going to feel better now by like thinking about blessing people. No, you actually had to go out and take action and do it. And that's how you shifted your reality. But it's like, it's in the action. It's not in the thought. Worry thoughts, they're just thoughts. They are not facts, right? So the more that we like feed those thoughts and live in our heads of like worry, 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 we trap ourselves. Get out of your head, get out of your thoughts, and like literally go outside. Like that's like the first, like tap into your physical senses, you know, like whenever we're having like a hard time, a great way to regulate is like through physical sensations, like hold a block of ice, splash your face with cold water, like literally like do anything to like snap out of the funk that your head, that your worry thoughts, that your Yetzer Hara is trying to push on you. The Yetzer Hara has free real estate in your mind. Free
It's
real estate.
freaky.
It's so freaky. And to literally like to say no and to say like, no, you do not get all of this free real estate is to take action. It's in the action. Like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to give blessings to people right now. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to smell the freaking flowers. You know, like I'm just going to go and like fill my day with actual sensations that fill me with joy. I have to generate joy. I can't just expect it to fall into my lap. You have to go out, you have to generate it. And once you like get into that habit and that practice, you'll see that it's your toolkit for when things aren't going your way, you can come back to it. You're like, what did I do when this happened? Like, write it down. I honestly, like, I write everything down in my journal so that I can go back and be like, oh yeah, I was going through this really hard time and then I did this and then it wasn't so hard anymore. Because we forget. Yitzhahara makes us forget. It literally makes us forget. That's why I have to document everything. But it's so, so important. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing and like for opening like your heart and like feeling safe to share that experience. And I want you to know you are so not alone. The amount of freaking things and punishments like I put myself through over like, okay, sometimes also like I had a croissant at a place that didn't have a Tuda, you know? I was just like, "Ugh, I really wanted a croissant, you know? And like I was a little misaligned, but I was hungry. And it's just like, okay, you know what? It's not aligned. I can find a place that I can eat a croissant and like it'll be okay. And like I won't feel so bad about myself. But also like I can forgive myself because it happens. Or like I used to like punch in a code on Shabbat, even though like I keep Shabbat, but like I was stuck and I was trying and I was like, I have to punch in the code, otherwise I'm not gonna get into my house. I forgot to like put the Shabbos lock on. And it's like, you know, what do I do? And I told this to a mentor once when I was beating myself up over it. I was like, who even am I? I don't I don't even value Shabbat anymore. And she was like, first of all, take it easy. Like Hashem's not gonna kill you over putting in a code. And also like, yeah, where are you holding? Like, be true to yourself about your values and reassess like why Shabbat matters to you, why kashrut matters to you. Like go back to your why and act on it through the why. Because if you don't have a very strong why, and that's okay, it's going to be easy for you to slip and slide. But when you have a strong why for what you're doing, that isn't just, I don't want to be punished, right? If it's coming from a place of love, like I love Shabbat so much, I don't want to do anything to like, not just to desecrate it, but like if there's a block in me getting home, that means something else is supposed to happen right now. And I need to honor that. Right? Like I have to play this out and see like where it's supposed to take me instead of trying to control the situation because Shabbat is all about letting go of control. And that's my why. So it was an opportunity for me to reevaluate my values.
100%. Wow.
That's exactly what happened to you at the hotel.
And it was magical. And I came back in like true tshuva because tshuva is not beating yourself up. Some people think that, for instance, in Yom Kippur, we're hitting ourselves and hitting ourselves. And I was always like, why is that happening? This seems like the least Jewish thing in the world. And I was against the prayers of Yom Kippur. But I went from really not liking the prayers on Yom Kippur to truly understanding what the prayers were about, in part because of this experience, but in part through experiencing slichot at the Kotel in Yerushalayim, in our ancestral homeland, and seeing it's not about being hard on ourselves. It's about returning to ourselves and saying like, whoa, something happened and that moment we were broken. And oh my gosh, it's okay. It's okay. Let's let go, let go. And one of my teachers taught me, you're not hitting yourself, you're patting and you're letting go. You're saying like, okay, it happened. It happened. And I'm going to be better. And I thank you for everything. And I thank you for everything. And like it seems stupid, like, oh, a cookie, oh, this, that, and I went like such through such a spiral because of the cookie. But then I went and I started doing Teshuva for other moments where I was not aligned, for other moments when I didn't see Hashem, including like really hard moments, such as like during my father's death and during another hard challenge which I had, that I went and I like was like, Hashem, like, where are you? I don't see you. And I was like, wow, no, actually, through everything, Hashem is divinely guiding me, and I thank you. And I thank you. I never wanted my dad to pass away, and it's really like it feels really wrong to me that he's not here with me anymore.
Yeah, I'm so
But if
sorry.
he would have just lived one more year, he would have lived during COVID. He would have been one of the first people to die. It would have been really horrible and much more hard than what it already was. And so the moment and the timing, it's so crazy. That was a chesed. And it's insane to even think about it because you think like, oh, but the timing, even though I wish that he would have lived to Admea the Ezrim until 120, happy, healthy. I wish that he would have been able, well, to walk in my wedding with me. I always said he's going to walk down the aisle with me physically in
Mm.
person. But Hashem's timing, and it's crazy to even say this, it was a chesed. If he would have been alive during COVID, it would have been the most painful death. He would have died alone. He couldn't even speak. He wouldn't have been able to even speak with the nurses. It would just have been a beyond horrible time. So even going to Hashem and thanking him for things that you wouldn't even imagine that you could thank Hashem for, and like sincerely thanking Hashem, that's like true tshuva. Like to as you were saying, like it's not only about the cookie. That 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 cookie took me into thanking Hashem for everything. And it's so hard to make that space, to be in that mindset. But that's like what we're practicing through bitachon. And true bitachon is pure kindness, is and true bitachon is pure kindness to yourself and to the world around you, and
Mhm.
pure love. And of course, always being aligned, but knowing that everything in life comes from Hashem. Everything comes from one source, and everything is unified. There's no separateness in the world. And this is what we're here to learn and keep on growing in and keep on seeing, because life is always going to test us, and we're going to feel separate apart at times, and we're going to maybe not be so kind to ourselves at times, but it's always going back and remembering the pure love and the pure oneness.
Ooh, Eva, you beautiful neshama. I love you. I really do. I want to read one line from Shaar Bitachon before we sign off. You go with
Yeah.
that? Um, I know we keep I love our chavrusas because it's literally us like living Shaar Bitachon and you know, just like letting it out and then like, oh yeah, let's read the text. We have like time for one line in the text, which I love it. I love it. That's real learning in my opinion. Um,
Thank you so much for holding the space.
oh my God. With the amount of space you've held for me over the past few months, like bahava, and I hope to continue to hold this space. So thank you for sharing.
Likewise.
So I don't even know where we're holding in the intro because I didn't even have my book with me last time because I was moving. But where I'm open to is page 5. And
I don't think we've gotten here yet.
oh, we didn't. Okay. We're not even at page 5. It's so funny. Um,
We're in
are we
3.
we're on page 3. Tranquility.
Yes. I feel like that line is gorgeous as well.
It is. The first benefit is that bitachon causes a person to be free from worry, allowing him or her to devote her energy to serving God. Let's just sit with that for a second. Benefit of bitachon is to be free from worry so that you can devote your energy to serving God. You're given the benefit so that you can do the work. Your benefits are like given to you beforehand. It's not like if you do this work, you will be given these benefits. It's like, here you go. You can just live worry-free and like be my employee, is what God is basically saying. Right? Like, here you go. I'm going to take care of everything for you. You just do this work that I've outlined. Theoretically.
And also, I think it's so interesting because we're speaking when we're so entrenched in the worry, because it's fine to worry and it's normal to worry every once in a while, and it's valid. But when we're so in the worry, we really aren't serving God. We're serving that worry.
Mm.
We're choosing the Yetzer Hara over Hashem. We're choosing pure negative forces, negative self-talk. We're choosing pure stress, and we're giving that stress, that worry, that doubt, we're giving it all the power. We're not giving Hashem any of the power, and we're not serving Hashem. We're serving something else.
Wow. That's really powerful. That's really powerful. Yeah, I think this is what we said before. We're either trusting or we're either like feeding Hashem, like and feeding that belief, or we're feeding the fear. And so like, okay, if I believe in my worries more than I believe in God, then that's what's going to be true. My worries will be true. Because even those, like Hashem is everything, right? Including your worries, including your doubts. Like Hashem is literally everything. But when we become very independent and say like, no, that's not Hashem, and Hashem has no control over this, and like I'm stuck now. It's that's where we're lacking. That's where we're lacking bitachon, is like that we could even think that way. And again, that's why we learn, because whatever you don't know, equip yourself with the knowledge so that you can be empowered by it. We don't know God, so let's learn about him. Because if we knew God, oh man, the blessings that we'd actively, consciously see, feel every single moment of every single day. We have some moments, but every single moment, it's hard.
And I think those moments are the moments of bitachon.
Yeah.
We're like, I see you, Hashem. I see you. And as we're talking, it lasts sometimes just a moment, just a few seconds, but it's that glimpse. I think those glimpses carry us through and ground us in really serving Hashem,
Mea chuz.
having that gift.
100%. Tov, so until next week.
Mwah.
Love you, Eva. Thank you so
Love you
much.
too.